So you're tasked in making PDF documents, maybe for your job or maybe because you're just building a business. But in looking at costs for Adobe PDF Maker, you might be taking yourself a step back. And Word is pretty decent in building a PDF, but if you need to bring it back in and adjust it, that's a whole different story. Or just merge PDFs together. It's not going to happen. That's where Tenorshare PDNob comes in. It's a PDF editor with a great lifetime deal. Today, we're going to look at the software, go through all the options that it has, and then look at the pros and cons. Next on Geekazine. What's up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine. Think Magazine, put in a geek. Now, Tenorshare is sponsoring this video, but all opinions are that of Geekazine. Go over to geekazine.com/review for more information. And of course, if you've got a product or website that you want me to take a look at, just contact me on the contact page and we'll get it in the studio. Let's go right into Tenorshare, and I'm going to show you everything about it. Or on the main Tenorshare page, and you might be asking what Tenorshare is. Tenorshare is a company that makes several different products, and we're seeing some of them right now, like Diagramo, which is about diagrams. We have the Reboot, which is smartphone solutions, and a few other programs as well. But one of the program we're going to be focusing on is, of course, what's called PDNob, which is a PDF editor. You can create a PDF from scratch, or you can bring in a PDF to edit from there. Maybe you had one that was made through another document. You had one sent there. It's got AI ability in there, so you can create PDFs using AI, of course, to make them cleaner and better and help you with some of the work in putting together any type of PDF. If you're doing a lot of PDF work, then this is going to help you immensely. What this is a download, and keep that in mind. So what you'll do is you will then download the program. You will choose the price plan, or you'll choose free. And then with that, you'll be able to do whatever you do in the PDF. So let's take a look at the prices. Like I said, there is a free tier here, and there is prices for individuals and prices for teams. Now, of course, the team would be if you have 4 or 5 people doing the same stuff, then you can give access. And of course, if one team member leaves and another team member comes in, you can switch that access to the new team member. So individuals, the most popular one is, of course, the $55.99 lifetime offer. So you're basically, you have it for life. As long as there's PDNob, you have PDNob. Simple as that. But if you just need a 1-year license, that's $44.99, which is about $11 less than getting a lifetime option. And of course, everything has a 7-day free trial for their image translator. And with the lifetime access, we'll just go here. We've got 6,000 lifetime AI credits for all features, lifetime free updates, no upgrade fees ever, no watermark, 20 gigabyte cloud storage, instant license code delivery, and free tech support. And you could do 2 users. So you could have PDNob on a laptop and a desktop, for example. With the 1-year license, you get a lot of that same stuff, except 1,200 AI credits and 2 users. Now, like I said, if you need to do teams, it's a different pricing schedule, but of course, there's going to be more to it, and you'll be able to connect up with multiple people there. So we have a Win and a Mac version. There is no iPad version. There is no Android version. As far as I know, this is just Windows and Mac right now. And of course, that could change down the road. As of January 2026, you have a Windows and a Mac version. So, all right, let's get into the program. So you download the program, you install the program, and it is a trusted program, just so you know. So if you're worried about any type of bloatware or scareware or anything like that, it doesn't have any of that. So when you go to open it up, fairly straightforward. This is what happens. This is what you get into here. Now you have different options here. The main 2 are up on the top left. You open your PDF or create a PDF. So simply put, if you've got a PDF you want to edit, then you open it up. And if you want to create a brand new PDF, you basically do that. You've got your recent files, your starred files, and your cloud files. So everything is in some sort of organization. And then we do have the options, like for instance, using AI to interact with your PDFs. You have your convert PDF to a Word or an Excel spreadsheet or anything like that. So let's say you just got a whole bunch of data. And I remember doing this back in 2000. I had to take, I was working for the state, and I had to take this big Word document that came from mainframe and actually convert it into a spreadsheet. And that was tough, but this helps with that type of production. So you can have a spreadsheet, and then you can have a Word document, then you can have a PDF all in one. We've got the OCR baked into the system here. So if you've got scanned PDFs that are mainly images, then you can go ahead and do the scanning, and it'll create it into text that you can then edit from there. You might have to do some extra work in getting that done, but at least you don't have to start from scratch. And then of course you got batch tools where you can process multiple PDF documents to improve your efficiency. So that's basically it. We're going to start with the create PDF. So we can create it from a file, or we can create a blank PDF and from files. So basically you could create a PDF template, and then of course that comes from file, which you can then create a new PDF from there. But we're going to go blank PDF because we're going to show you how all this works. As you can see, it looks a lot like Microsoft Word or anything like that. We have the ribbon up here where all your options are. And of course, that's a completely collapsible area. So if you need more room to look at what's going on, then you have that there. One more thing I forgot to mention down here, you have 4 options. You have a community of other people that are using this software that you can ask questions and talk with, answer questions too as well. You do have a feedback form. You do have a user guide, and then of course user interview. That's where you're sharing feedback, and they do reward some of the feedback. And so basically what you would do is you would join a Google Meet with one of their employees, and you talk to them and say what you like, what you didn't like about these tools. So let's go back in and create this from a blank PDF. And like I said, this is just all looks exactly like you would if you used Microsoft Word or spreadsheet or anything like that. We have the ability to bring in text. We have the ability to highlight, edit, add text, OCR. So like I said, if you bring in a picture and you want to get turn all that text into actual typable text, you could do that from there. You can bring in Word documents, images, and PDFs and everything like that. Over on this side right here, we have a thumbnail option. So you can see, if you have multiple page PDF, you can see the thumbnails. We have a bookmark option, so you can easily get to where you need to go. And then a comment list, so you can see what comments are in their documents. If you're looking for something in particular, you can search that, and it'll allow you to get the work done quicker. So over on the right side, I want to show you that too. We have 3 boxes here. First of all, the properties box, where we can do all our fonts or anything like that. We can search throughout the PDF. So if we've got like a 50-page document and we're looking for, let's say it's about property assessment, and we're looking for dimensions on the property assessment, we could type in keywords here, and of course it will search the document to find. And then of course the AI options here, that's PDNob, PDF AI. And of course, you'll need to upload the document to PDNob Cloud, and then it can summarize the document and quickly understand the content of the PDF through questions and answers. So right now we have nothing in this PDF, so the AI won't be able to help. All right, so let's start adding something here. And I want to zoom in a little bit. So if I right click on here, I can say zoom in, and Control or Command Plus will also zoom in as well, just like with a web page or anything like that. So now we have a bigger page here. So let's go ahead and add some text. Now, as you can see, our properties box came up. We're just going to close that because I want to see this really quick. I'm just going to add my text right about here. There we go. And it's going to be the title of the PDF. So I'm just going to type in to use how to use PDNob. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to, let's see, we can rotate it and we can move it around. Oops, let's just undo that so we're nice and square. We're going to move this to the center like so. And then we're going to take this text. Now, we had the properties area over here, but you don't need to have the properties area. There's a drop-up menu that will give you options. So let's say we want to do Calibri, and we do want to use a larger font because this is an opening title or whatever. We can move it around. As you can see, very straightforward on how to put this all together. We do have guide rules, so we can stay in line and for what we want to do. And then that looks good. So we could even probably just change its color. So we could go through some of these here. These are all the edits. We have the comments option. We have our edit area where we can change, of course, all the properties as we did before. We have a convert option, the page option, of course, if you have multiple pages, the protect option. So if I needed to protect something like this part, then I can do that. And then, of course, the form and other tools that you have all up here. I just want to do the edit. Now, if you notice, I've deselected the text here. So if I tried to select it again, I can't get to the text to edit it. You need to go to the edit text area. And from here, from this drop down, we can edit that's all the text, just that one bit of text, the images, and of course the fields. We want to edit the text, and that'll bring this into a point where we can start editing once again. So we'll go ahead and highlight the whole thing. We want to bold it. We want to make it a little bit bigger, or we want to bring it down a little bit. Let's bring it back up. Let's make it bigger. Whoops. Bring it back up. And we have to make it bigger by making the size bigger. So let's bring it up to like a 36. Resize it so it's one line. There we go. And then center it to where we need. So now we have how to use PDNob, and then we can add more text. So like, for instance, from here, which looks like we're going to have a very large font if we start typing here. So let's bring it down to something like 16. And say, this is PDNob, a great way to create PDF files or edit existing ones. Now I'm going to take all of that and I'm going to turn off the bold, and might even make it a little bit smaller. Let's go 12. And then, of course, I want to make this an area like this. So bring that up like that. And there we go. There we go. We can set this all to justifiable font or right justify, center justify, left justify. You get the idea on that type of stuff. So we also have the ability to do line spacing and character scaling and character spacing and paragraph spacing. So we can have a nice little paragraph in there, and then we have a little space. This is the second paragraph. And now with this, we can increase the paragraph spacing and decrease. You get the idea on that. We could bring to image that will then take this, what we just created, and create an image out of it, which we could then scan, OCR it back into the document and continue editing from there. We've also got the ability to merge PDFs and compress PDFs and some other screen tools like screenshot and screen recording. So if you want to have some exposition to it, you have that right there. Bringing in an image, fairly straightforward. Let me grab an image here. We're just basically dragging and dropping it. It's going to add the image to the PDF right there. And this was a CES video that I did for Rescue Retriever, which is a smoke alarm for dogs and cats. So we'll resize it so it fits in here. We also have some tools right here to crop it and to rotate and to lock the aspect ratio. So we'll lock that so we don't shrink it. Oh, we did shrink it. Look at that. Let's unlock it so we get it to more of the 19 16 by 9 than it was. And then we can replace the image, we can extract the image, send it to the back, send it to the front. So if you send it to the back, now I can take that image and put it right here. And notice that, of course, it's right behind the text. And then if I bring it to front, the text is behind it. You get the idea. So we'll move this over here. And now we have an image to our text. You can also bring in other things as you go, just basic drag and drop options right there. And then, of course, like I said, you can crop this. So let's say I want to get less of this side, and we'll just crop it like that. There we go. Nice image, really quick, easy, and not much of a problem. And then, of course, if we want to edit, we just click on there, and then we can make some different changes. We do have the properties over here where we can rotate our image. We can flip it or flip it this way. We can crop it, of course, and then replace the image, and then the alignment options right here. And then we can even do some rotating if we need to, kind of give it a little bit of flair right there. Next up, I have this PDF. I took a page from here. This is it looks like some really bad text. A document scanned maybe 10, 20 years ago or something like that. It's very blurry. It's very low resolution. So now what we want to do is we want to clean it up and get as much text out of there so we can actually make it into a new document. So what we can do is we could go to the AI right here. And with AI, it just basically says you need to upload the document to PDNob, PDF Cloud, and then, of course, it'll do the analyzing. So let's go ahead and hit start. And it says, by using the PDNob service, AI service, you agree the PDF you upload will be securely stored in PDNob PDF account. So you just have to agree to that. It's a license agreement. And then it says the current file seems to be a scanned document. It's recommended to perform OCR, which is what we're going to do. So we'll hit OCR from here. And that's going to bring in the scanning area. So we'll do the perform OCR. It's processing that. And there we go. Now, it's not going to be perfect in some cases, and we're kind of seeing the not so perfectness here, but that's okay, because now this is all text that you could actually edit and fix. So, and of course, you'd have to have the other PDF side by side to try and get that information off. The other thing is, if there was anything over, like writing over it on, then you might have to do a little bit of work to kind of fix all that. But for the most part, this becomes a little bit better to read and just fix these and ands and things like that. Now we can go to the AI part here, and we're going to save our changes. Now we can go to the AI part, and then we can upload this file into the cloud. And what it's going to do is it's going to upload it and then analyze it a little bit. As you can see, it says the text appears to be fragmented and incoherent collection of phrases and words, making it difficult to summarize. And that's true, because I didn't do any editing of the OCR documents. So, and then it does ask, what specific points should I focus on? Can you provide examples? How can I improve my understanding of this content? So to show you on this AI part really quick, first of all, it's using ChatGPT 4 for the AI ability. You can change that to DeepSeek if you wanted to, but we'll just leave it at ChatGPT 4. Up on top here, you'll see it says 2 of 50. That means that's my credits right here. So in this case, I have 50 credits, and I've used 2 of them to do different things. I can clear the conversation from up here, and then I can close this out from up here. So some of the AI ability that you can do for this document here. So if I clean this document up a little bit more, I can have the AI summarize the document and help me put together a PDF that will work. Now, this is great for research. If you are looking through several PDFs, law documents or medical journals or anything like that, you'll be able to pull that stuff up and then be able to extract some of it so you can create your own PDF. That's the idea here, to make it a lot easier to go back and forth. And of course, you can do some other things, like, for instance, let's say there's nothing on this PDF that I want. So what I'll do is I'll just get a sticker and we'll say that it's been checked. Got a check mark here. So we'll put the check mark here, and I'll even zoom it in so I know that this has been checked. There's nothing we need to see in this. And then I can save this as a document in like a done file or anything like that. Or let's say I just like this document so much I want to give it a sticker of a badge, an award. It got an award. Yay, there we go. Simple as that. Let's go to the comments section where we can actually do some highlighting of text, as you can see, and we can even do some strike through of some text if this is not what we want to have inside the document. We can pencil in stuff, as you can see. We can draw through that, or we could draw in this section. Let's do a more. There we go. And then say why. Here's my mouse skills. We can use the eraser on some parts that we just penciled in. So if we didn't want to say why, we'd want to say something else, we can easily do that. We've got a signature line where we can create a signature like that. And then whenever we need to put a signature on it, we can put it in right there. Simple as that. And then, of course, if we want to put a note onto the document, we find the word that we note. There we go. And then we can add a comment and we can say, why? There we go. So now if anybody chooses this document, they sees the note, they can find out what the note means just by double clicking on it. So as you can see, it's perfect for markup. So if you're a teacher, you've got all these PDF files to research, you can then easily make the changes and do a lot of work. And of course, if you had something like a Wacom tablet or something like that, you could easily just draw onto the page. You can also do some stamps, like for instance with a notary where you have to sign here. Maybe you want to have that sign here. We can just do that. That's the witness one. But we can change it to some other ones. We got standard business, approved, not approved. You haven't been approved. Sorry, buddy. Not approved. Yeah, there's the sign here ones, the dynamic ones where, confidential and things like that. And then the digital stamps, stamp of approval. Yeah, I looked at it on this date. Let's move it up. And it'll actually put the date into the stamp, which is really cool. We got the edit option where it's instantly ready to edit from there. As you can see, I'm just editing the document here. And even in the highlighted area and the drawn area, notice how that doesn't change the drawn area, but you can actually do all your editing from there. We have our convert, where we can convert it to a PowerPoint, to an Excel spreadsheet. I'll show you really quick. To PDF, another PDF. You got many different options. RTF, ePublication, to tell you, there's still ePublications. You can go to PowerPoint, Excel, to Word, or anything like that, and be able to have your document done. We can take a look at the pages. If I had multiple pages here, I'd see that here. We can then protect this document if we wanted to. And we can mark, first of all, we can mark for redaction. We'll do that. Permanently black out the sensitive content. So mark the areas that you want to redact. So we'll go like this and we'll go like this. And apply redaction. And it says, once the redaction is applied, the content is permanently removed. So you can't undo the redaction. It's redacted. It is gone. It is no longer there. And you can see we now have a redacted area. And of course we have in this area, you can also encrypt your document, give it a password. You can set editing and page extraction password. So you can have a read password and then you can have an edit password. Then we've got the form options where we can do some more editing. We can add more text fields. We can extract data easily into its own file. And then the final tools, merge PDFs, multiple PDFs, we can put it into one. We can compress this PDF. Maybe it was just way too large, especially because it had an image in it. So now we can make it a really small document. So we can email. We've got our screen tools to screenshot and screen record. And then of course the OCR and batch tools right there. That's the document from PDNob. Now you have many different options here. And of course, as you can see, we have in our recents, we have one file that's in the cloud. We have one file that's on 3 files technically that are on my desktop, which I can then either delete or set up. So like with a star, so I know that I need to look at that one a little bit later, and then be able to move that up into the list so it's on top of my things to do. So that's basically everything with PDNob in a nutshell. Okay, now that we looked at the software, let's find out all the pros and cons about this software. Now, first of all, I do like the interface. It's very familiar with what I've used in an office setting for products. It can convert files easy and has a batch process option that works pretty well. Connecting to ChatGPT or DeepSeek gives you some options for AI. I'd like to kind of see a little bit more with like Gemini get put into that list. If you do use the free version, it's limited in what you can do. The biggest con is that there is no mobile support, so you will need a laptop or a desktop with Windows or Mac to run it. Sorry, Chromebook. But the one thing that shines is the lifetime support option. Pay it once and you're on your way to making PDFs for a very long time. And of course, if you do have Adobe PDF Maker, this can be a really good companion, especially if you have to bring on 1 or 2 people to help you with this. And if you have a team of people, this is where it really shines, as it can save you a lot of money in the long run. But what do you think? How many PDFs do you make in a year? And will software like this help you? Let me know in the comments below over at Geekazine.com, youtube.com/Geekazine, where you can like, subscribe, and of course hit that bell notification so you know when the next video comes out. Until next time, my name is Jeffrey Powers. Thanks a lot for watching, and you guys geek out and create all the PDFs you need with PDNob. Of course, Geekazine has a whole bunch of merch, including t-shirts and hoodies. Like, for instance, the Geekazine logo hoodie. We got some great t-shirts, including 80s Jesus Saved Me, Guardian of the Geekery, the original Geek AI t-shirt. We have a couple variations of this one. And then I Like Geek Butts and I Cannot Live. There are several more and more that are being added to the Geekazine merch page, so you can check that out over at Teespring. If you're on YouTube, you'll see those links below, and then over at amazon.com/shop/Geekazine. I appreciate that very much because it does support the channel.